they said that the searches for where to buy and near me have increased over 200% in recent years. So that's kind of a abstract statistic, but still, it's like those searches have gone up.
Mhm.
And these are called discovery searches.
Hello and welcome to the Simple and Smart SEO Show,
where we provide tips and advice to improve your website's search engine ranking.
I'm Brittany Herzberg, SEO copywriter for holistic health and wellness pros who want to show up as the answer to a Googled question.
And I'm Crystal Waddell, an e-commerce seller and content creator. I help business owners communicate the value of their products and services through content so you can make more sales and grow your business.
We're business besties who love learning and sharing what we've learned. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump in.
All right. Well, hello, our friend. We appreciate you being here today. B and I are jumping into local SEO for the first time on the podcast, and we're super excited about it. And we're kind of using this change from Google My Business to Google Business Profile as a segue into that whole conversation. So I know B's got a few stories she'd like to share with us about that. And then we're going to just go through an amazing SEMrush blog that we found all about it and kind of pull it apart and talk about it. And yeah, so it should be a fun day exploring local SEO. So, hey B, how you doing today, girl?
Hi, I'm so jazzed about this topic. I can't even tell you. Story time. So there are 3 stories. If you feel like fast forwarding, fine, go ahead. But if you feel like understanding why local SEO is so important and why Google My Business or Google Business Profile or whatever name it's going by this week. Okay, can we just also, I have a lot of energy, so thank you for bearing with me, everyone. It's Google Business whatever has turned into like P. Diddy. Like, what name are we going by right now? It was this, now it's this, now it's this other thing. And it's like, I can't. So I think right now it's Google Business
profile. Yeah.
If it changes between now and when we release this episode, we'll make sure the correct name is somewhere in there. Okay, story time. We will.
I make no promises.
Well, I'll make sure it's in there. You'll put the show notes and I'll be like sneaky, like, do. Okay, stories. So one thing that's going on is my dad has a window replacement company and he's actually launching a second window replacement company. And I'm helping him. Crystal's going to be helping him with some UX design. We've got the SEO, the copywriting, building out the website. So anyway, we're going through all of these steps. And one of the very first steps is to set up the Google Business Profile. So I've been going through like step by step by step. And because he delegated this task to me and I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I'll get to see how we do it these days. Oh my goodness. First of all,
how you do it.
I know that's exactly what's going on. But they don't have the postcards anymore. I really miss the postcards because it was so easy. And you said that was pointed out in this article too, right?
No, they did not have that updated. They still recommended the postcard as a way to verify your business, which I thought, ooh, we know better. We have an update.
Sadly.
Yeah.
So
sadly.
It's a little complicated-ish if you are not familiar with setting up a profile. So this resource would be really helpful. Probably a lot of what we're going to share is going to be really helpful. And I'm sure you could stay tuned for SEO Shorts and figure out exactly how to walk through all of this. Hint, hint.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so setting up the profile with my dad for his company was like a story that showed up in my life where I was like, we really need to talk about this. And then a friend introduced me to another friend who's a photographer. And I was fortunate enough, we're going to do some work together, Haley. And I met up with her just to like chat. And then she got some photos of me and Jack. I brought Jack with me. And she was mentioning, they're so cute. I'll link to them if they're out by the time this is out. But she was mentioning that she has multiple addresses. She lived in Vermont, started her business there, and then moved down to North Carolina. She's been in Durham, and then she's going to be moving to Winston-Salem later this year. So we were talking through that, and she's like, oh yeah, I can just add another address. And I was like, wait, what? How do I not know you could do this? So that was eye-opening.
So do the previous addresses stay on there, or is she just updating the address?
I think she was adding an additional one. So Vermont is live, Durham is live, Winston-Salem will be live.
And so she still works in all of those places or will continue to work? Wow.
Correct.
Okay. That's really cool. That's good
to
know. Yeah.
Yeah, her husband is from Vermont, so they travel back to see family, and then she blocks off time when they're up there to do some shoots. And then I asked her, I was like, okay, you're moving to Winston. It's only about I know this too well. It's only about an hour and a half drive. So I was like, are you willing to drive back? Because she's currently pregnant. She's having her first baby. And so I was like, is that still on the table? She's like, oh yeah, we could work that out. So yeah, she's just going to add an address. But that was eye-opening to me. And then the very last scenario story that showed up in my life was that I was wanting to have my hair blown out for this photo shoot. And because if you don't know, I have very curly hair, like Crystal, we have curly hair. It's part of how we bonded.
Curly
And,
hair club.
What? So every once in a while, I'm like, sounds like fun. So I looked into it. I don't have a person that I go to regularly for that. So I found someone, tried to call her. I kept getting these error messages of like, the Verizon customer you're trying to reach can no longer, like the phone number is no longer available, whatever. It switched the error message like multiple times. And I'm saying error message, but that's not right. But the warning or the alert that I was getting was like, you can't reach this person. So I'm like, what in the world? I figured out a way to email her. And I told her what was going on. And she was like, we have to figure this out. And I'm like, well, good thing you found me, lady, because I can help you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Think about how much business she's probably lost because of that.
That was the first thought that she had. And I don't know if that's true because the phone number on her website was accurate, but the phone number that Google was picking up was from her Yelp listing. So she had a Google My Business or Google Business Profile account, and that number was accurate, but the number she had in Yelp was being picked up. So the lesson here is to please make sure that your information is correct. What?
I know why that is. I forgot.
Tell me, because I didn't know. Yes.
Because it's probably an iPhone thing. It's probably most iPhones will have this error because iPhone gets their reviews and different information from Yelp.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Because if I'm looking at the reviews, yeah. Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah. So thankfully, it's not everybody on the internet, but it is everybody with an iPhone is going to struggle to get in contact with her. So,
well, and
that's
if
definitely
the business,
a reason to fix it.
Yeah. And if the business has a Yelp account, like for example, I'm not listed on Yelp. So for my massage business or even my copywriting business, you can't at this moment, as far as I know, review me on Yelp because I don't have a listing. If I did, then that's where that information would be coming from. So yeah, just a heads up, if any of those accounts that you haven't been, just go check them to make sure that all of your contact info is correct. The end.
Gosh, that is like total random information. I think I learned
this,
like when I was trying to create a Yelp profile, because I know we're not talking about Yelp profiles right now, but it seemed a little bit more difficult to do a Yelp profile without an actual brick and mortar. And so as I was doing that, and that's how I kind of learned about, those type of things. But I never thought it would be helpful. I never really even thought it would have anything to do with a Google business profile issue. But yeah, that's probably exactly what happened.
Yeah. So go figure. But those are the stories, and that's what brings us here today. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Well, and, when we were talking about doing, something with local SEO, I realized, typically I don't do a lot locally. I think having a Google business profile has been really helpful, in the SEO sense for my business. But I don't do a lot of things locally in North Carolina. Most of the customers that we serve at Collage and Wood either come from New York or someplace in the Northeast, California. We do a lot of coastal states, which and then also Texas and Illinois. So
that is so random.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that interesting? But, those are hot spots for sports, and big tournaments and athletes and, and Florida. Yeah. Texas and Florida are big ones, so those are the places that we serve. So having a local presence hasn't really been like anything that we focused on, And now with crystalwaddell.com, I've realized, what, there are a lot of local businesses that I can help with their SEO. So diving into this, it's kind of like new territory, but it's also really interesting because it's a new form of outreach and marketing that I have never really done before, and it'll be helpful. So to start off, like you talked about, it used to be called Google My Business, and people still refer to it as Google My Business. And if you ever see something like GMB, that's like internal SEO speak for Google My Business.
Mhm.
But I thought it had just been absorbed by Google Maps.
Yeah,
And
it
so
hasn't.
that's not, yeah, that's not the case. But I will tell you one takeaway that I saw already from another article in Search Engine Journal was that embedding the Google Maps
Mhm.
on your contact page is a good idea and a good thing for local SEO. And so I thought, oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm trying to learn the hand raising. So I was really good at it when I was in school. But with my massage business, so BrittanyHertzberg.com is the website that I have. And it used to be 100% massage therapy. And then I started copywriting and my massage practice was full. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to take that down to a page on my website and have the rest of it be copywriting. So when it was massage only, my contact page, I did embed that. I did embed Google Maps on my contact page because it made more sense in my head of like, people are going to want to know, where am I located? Where do they need to drive? What's the address? Because with massage therapy, I'm always in someone else's space. That's how I choose to do it. I'm renting a room in there. And so like, it hasn't been as big of an issue with my copywriting business, but just wanted to point that out. The other thing too, I'm starting to really love one-page websites. And I think that might be another like niche for me, niche, whatever, offering.
Niche.
And I have, I know, niche. I have copybybee.com and I haven't done anything with it. So I may play around with it, like something I did because I saw what was going on with the Google business profile and I wanted to test out my business when I was doing my dad's stuff. I did get a business profile listing for Copy by Bee. So if I have the website, then I can link them. And anyway, stay tuned because I think that'll be another project for myself. All right, let's get back to the list.
Well, I do want to make a comment on that really quick, because coming from the background of e-commerce, when you talk about having a one-page website, I don't know whether I want to laugh or cry, because I told you about the guy that I want to invite on to talk about local SEO. He was talking about that. And he said something about, the intricacies or whatever of an e-commerce website, because you've got product pages, you've got collection pages, you might have a blog, and then you've got your standard, about pages and all that type of stuff, contact pages. And so I thought, wow, and I even emailed them this. I was just like, it's crazy to me, like how lucky people are when they have like 3 to 5 pages to optimize, because I'm like, what is that like?
It's so, and even still, some of us, me included, still feel like that's overwhelming. But that is why I love my service provider people. And that's why I was like, what's the not easy, but what's a business I can have with low overhead where it's like, for me, providing a service is so much easier than providing a product. And I'm always going toward like, we have this podcast. It's called the Simple and Smart SEO Show. I'm like, what's a simple and smart thing I can do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can only imagine what it's like going through those websites.
Yeah. Well, I could go off on a tangent on those things, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay focused today, because the simple and smart thing to do was to find an article about this. You know what I mean? And so I was very proud of myself with that. I was like, I don't have to recreate the wheel here and go do a bunch of research. Yeah. Honestly, you want to know how I came up with this? Was on my phone, I just searched for Google My Business, because I was like, okay, have I written anything about this and saved it in my notes or whatever? And this article happened to come up in one of the SEMrush emails. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. And then it was like, oh, this is perfect. We'll just talk about this, and some of the things that changed. But going back really quick to some of the insights from Search Engine Journal, the part of the, Google, what's it called now? Google Business Profile. Include the following. So you've got your business name, and that the name of the business a lot of time is hyperlinked. And so you can, when you click on it, you get the full Google Business Profile listing.
In theory, what are you talking about that is clickable? Could you share more on that? I'm also I'm in Safari.
No, well, that's probably fine. Well, let's just look at it how it is in Safari here. Okay, so on your website, click and see what it says when you click on website. Does it go to your domain?
Well, here, I'll
You
click.
see that
Oh,
on
wait,
there?
you mean from this?
Yeah, because when you search for your business, if you have a Google business profile listing, it's going to show up on the right and it's going to have your name and it's going to have something like your website, directions, save, reviews, an
Your phone
address,
number.
the hours, that type of thing. So click on website up above your stars.
Oh, it was above the stars. Oh,
Uh-huh.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, just
The
know that
button
if
that
we're
says
we're
website.
saying some stuff, I know, right? Yeah, not your
I
actual
love you. I'm
website,
just
Brittany.
teasing.
Um, I just wanted to point out that we probably will upload this video. So if we're saying
Yeah.
stuff and you're not following, we do have this on video. Okay.
Yeah. We'll put it on our Simple and Smart SEO show YouTube and link to it. Okay. So go back and then search for collagen wood because I want to show you how it
Yeah.
works differently for me.
This is
And
a good test though, because with the stuff that I just pulled up, it was Be Here Massage Therapy. But remember, I just said that I updated my website so that only one page is for massage and it just took it to the copywriting page. So heads up for Brittany, I need to go in there and put the /massage so that it leads them to that page. Okay. We are on
okay.
collagen
Right.
wood.
So already helping you. Okay. So click on website for me. See how I don't have those other options like you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, now, of course, it's going to go to my website. So that's
Ta-da!
perfect. Yeah. Go back again, though, because before it's gone to some weird thing where scroll. See how it has products and all of that?
Like up here?
No, down in my profile.
Oh, here. Yes.
Yeah. So it has profile like products that I've uploaded at some point, but they're not pulled from my website. Like
where are they
click on the
pulled
view
from?
all. It's something special that
Is that the right phone number?
Google has done. Yeah, that's the right. But I created product posts at some point. And so the problem with this is like if my price changes, which they have, these prices are not the right prices.
Uh-oh.
So, some of them are, some of them aren't, but that's something to watch out for. So if you've used, Google My Business in the past, you need to go into your business profile and just double check that things are updated. Okay. So then another thing that's going to show up on your business profile is your rating. And I have a story about rating and reviews.
Oh, yes, please tell.
Like to hear it?
Okay. Would I? Come on. Testimonials, reviews, I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a icky thing. Okay. So when I found this out, it made me feel kind of sick. But so with e-commerce, just like any other service and products, I guess, you can set up independent review systems, like Yotpo is a popular one. Gosh, even the one I have, I can't even remember the one I have, but anyway.
These sound like Latin terms, by the way. I'm like, what now? Yotpo?
Oh, like a review app.
Okay.
Gosh, you should click on my website so I can see what that review app is because I feel bad.
And then where do I need to go?
Down.
Oh, this?
Just scroll down. Oh, well, if you scroll down, it'll say it, but it doesn't say it right there.
Did I go too far?
Yeah, you went too far. Anyway, my point is with these review apps, like let's say that you want to do one app and then you want to switch to another. I guess I took it off this page. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. But you want to switch to another, you will you'll have to download your reviews and then upload them to the new review app.
Oh.
And they have a specific template that you have to use in order to make that import. So you'll export your reviews and then import your reviews into the new app. However, once I was in there, I was like, wow, now that I have the template to do the reviews, I really could just create a whole bunch of reviews.
Yeah.
All you need is an email address. And I don't know about you, but in my email service provider, or like on my email list, and I noticed this with Klaviyo, because I use Klaviyo with my e-commerce store, that there were like fake emails that they would sort into like kind of a junk email thing.
What?
Yeah. It was like davefake@fakemail.com or something like that.
That's
like
creative.
Yeah. Well, it's really weird. It was bots,
Right.
But it was a security thing on Klavio's end, and I really appreciated it. But from the perspective of, oh my gosh, if I wanted to launch a product, I could
Yep.
create a bunch of fake reviews very easily.
Dude, that's so
And
wrong.
yeah. And so I just want to put that out there for everybody. Like, no offense to my other e-commerce sellers. And sorry if I'm like blowing the lid off like a secret, like insider secret. I don't like it, I don't like it.
No,
So
that's not cool.
I just want to say, yeah, be very careful when you see reviews, and make your decision based on reviews because a lot of times they could be fabricated. They could be true. They could be fabricated. I don't know.
So this brings up a really good point with, frankly, something that I've been wondering about with Airbnb, because the stories, I'm not going to share them all over again, but there have been some really awful experiences that we have had recently with Airbnb. And I don't understand how these places have like 4.5, 4.9, 5.0 reviews. Like, are you kidding me? I felt like I was going to die in a couple of these places. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. Like, when you take a peek under an above the garage apartment and all you see are wires and the building is built into the dirt, you don't sleep very well at night. Just going to say that. So anyway, I don't know if that also happens on Airbnb, but I wouldn't be surprised. And that's very disheartening to hear that someone could do that and probably has done that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could go in and probably delete the reviews, or hide them or that type of thing. So, and I don't know how it works on Airbnb because that's a bigger website, but just on, the standard review apps, you can do that. So, again, take it all with a grain of salt because not everything is as it appears. Okay. So that's my public service announcement on that. Now, the point with Google My Business though, however, or the Google business profile is that Google reviews typically are legit. I mean, maybe you have reviews from people that, because you could always go ask fans or friends and family to review.
Yeah.
But they have to have a Google email address and be like kind of like a verified Google person to leave a review. And over the years, I didn't even realize people were leaving reviews there. I'd say, hey, could you leave a review? And maybe they're familiar with, leaving Google reviews. So that's how they left their review. But I say all this to say you can trust those Google reviews a little bit more than you can just any website reviews.
Yeah. And I do, like, that's actually why I went through the process of, now it's not going to show it. That's why I went through the process of getting the Copy by Bee business listing, Google business account, Google business profile, whatever, that thing. That's why I went through the process of that, because I was like, oh, I could ask people to write reviews over there. Like, maybe I'll have an email prompt at some point where it's like, hey, or an email call to action where it's like, hey, would you mind going over and doing this thing? So yeah, it can be beneficial for e-commerce, for service providers, if you have a brick and mortar place, if you work online. I mean, and I thought of it after seeing someone else do it. Her name is Jules Kim. She's amazing. I think she's doing like life coaching now, but like if you haven't thought of getting a Google business profile, maybe consider it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also another opportunity, because if you've gotten reviews from people in the past, like say in your e-commerce store or, on your website, ask those same people to go over and say, hey, here's the link to my Google business, account or whatever. Could you leave a review there? So the people that you have relationships with, or even ones that maybe haven't left a review, you could always send them to Google so that, they have you have a review that goes with you wherever you are, no matter if you sell on Etsy or some other website.
I wonder if it would also be worth it to, and maybe this is part of what you have in mind, like, let's say someone did already write you a testimonial and it appears on your website or somewhere in your marketing materials, but you want it to be on Google. Perhaps you could give the person the link or put it in an email and say, hey, I'm really trying to make an effort to have these reviews over here. This is what you shared previously. Any chance you would write this, or maybe write an updated review and put it at this link? Just make it easy for them. The easier you can make it, as Crystal knows with all of her like UX design stuff, the easier you can make it for someone, the more likely you are to succeed and they are to follow through on the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So then another thing that shows up on the Google business profile is like the price. And, this is kind of relative to your industry or whatever, but think about it in terms of like hotels or restaurants. It's like the $1 sign to the $4 or $5 side, and it's relative, obviously, to your industry. And then if you have a brick and mortar, there's a place for your address. But the great thing is, if you are an online business and you don't actually have a physical location where people can visit you, you don't have to have an address. So that's really great. Instead, what you'll do is you'll specify what area of the world that you serve.
Yeah.
Like on my map, I have this really weird triangle up there at the top. I noticed it. I was like, what a weird map, because it like shows most of the United States. And, I guess it's because it's going up to Alaska.
Or it might also be going out to Hawaii, because with that being like out here. Oh, that's funky.
Yeah. So I say, the United States is my, the area that I serve, although I do get hits a lot from Canada. But shipping and e-commerce, it's a hot mess express going across the United State line. So I try to keep it, to the US.
I clearly specified Raleigh with copy by B, but now that I see your, tell me more.
Pentagon.
Think so.
It's a 5-sided thing. That's what you got right there.
But is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I have that. What's the 4-sided though over here with yours?
Quadrilateral.
Okay, just like as an aside, because I guess we're hanging out over here for a minute. I have heard that you're either good at algebra or good at geometry. I was very good at algebra. Geometry, I struggled through. So were you better at geometry? Do you remember?
I have always been that person that's like pretty good at everything. Maybe not great at anything, but it's like, okay, come on, I've got random knowledge about Yelp. So that's just how it goes.
That's not random though. You're a business owner.
And I can tell you some shapes, but whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. What were you going to say about yours?
I think I was just going to say that I need to go back in and do the area differently. Well, no, I don't necessarily want my address to show up.
But if you're copy by B and not necessarily, stuck physically, like with parameters of a massage practice, you want that to be nationwide.
That's what I'm saying.
Worldwide.
Yeah, I need to go do. Actually, I could do. Yeah, I have some work to do. This is fascinating.
So we'll change your area served. All right. And then another thing is there's 2 options for letting people know about whether you're open and closed and your hours. So open and closed, a lot of times you'll get messages from Google that says, hey, it's a holiday coming up. Are you open on this date? Let people know. I tend to ignore those just because I'm pretty much always open.
Yes.
And then the hours.
Usually I'm like, a holiday? Sure. Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah. I was like, what's a holiday? But anyway, then the hours are like the typical hours that is, even if you don't have a brick and mortar, the typical hours that somebody could reasonably expect a response from you.
Yeah.
So, I don't really have a lot of parameters there either, but I think recently I did change to being closed on Sunday or something like that.
Let's see. What did you do?
Oh yeah, you're closed 24 hours.
You're closed on Sunday, but you're open 24 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. It says online service hours. Oh, that's wonderful.
Ooh, yeah. So I didn't realize I'd set that up. That's very nice.
Yeah, but that was smart of you.
And then that way, because I have a chat function on our website. So it's like, okay, if people wanted to go to the website and actually chat with me, they could expect to chat with me during the week. But they would be prepared that I might be able not be able to chat with them on the weekend. So yeah,
I love
good
it.
Stuff. Okay, and then there's a spot for description. I don't really see a description on mine.
Here we go. This is you.
Oh, okay. All right. And so on mine, it's located underneath the reviews. But what's also interesting here is there's a reviews from the web section where they give, Facebook reviews, which, are fairly trustworthy, I guess. And then Etsy reviews.
You got a lot of Etsy reviews.
Yeah, third party data. So, but yeah, that's
and then
underneath
clickable.
that. I don't want people to go to Etsy though. I want them to go to my website, but that's okay.
We're doing like a mini audit. So like maybe we don't want those things. So maybe you can turn it off somehow or disconnect it.
Well, I don't mind it because it builds trust, and so, when people see that, oh yeah, she's got 545 reviews from Etsy and they're all 5 stars, or averages to be 5 stars, that builds trust. So I'm okay with that. But then, so underneath that, there is this little paragraph where I said, this is what we do. We specialize in senior night, birthdays, and graduations, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah. And then I got creative with mine because of course I did. I more like introduced myself and made it sound like it was me writing to a person because copywriter. Tell me more. I see your wheels spinning.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't really want to do this right now, but I'll say it. Okay. I think it's just probably a little bit confusing here because it's like massage therapy at the top, copywriter at the bottom, even though you explain, but I guess at the top you do have copy now. And I
said
I think
copywriter, but what do you mean? Do you think, is that the line that you were talking about?
Well, no, earlier it looked like it was something about massage therapy earlier, but
it was a different business.
So, there's two different business profiles. Ah, okay, good. All right. That's great.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that though, because I was like, what?
Okay. Yeah. So now I'm in the right place. So that's, and that's exactly what I was going to tell you is like, oh, I think you should have two, but you do have two. So good job.
I did a good thing. Okay.
Yes.
Where are we now? Description, check. Service options, yeah?
Yeah. So this is just kind of extra information. Like if you are a restaurant, this is really helpful, because it tells people whether, they can pick up the food or like if you use Grubhub or what's the other one?
DoorDash.
Yeah, DoorDash or something like that. Or if you can order online, like a lot of times the menus will be here for restaurants. Yeah. So I see that more as, an option for a business like that.
Okay.
So
I think I'm trying to think through as you're saying that. I feel like I've also seen people, I wonder if I did it. I feel like I've seen people list. Yeah, I don't think I did it. For example, I could maybe possibly, I'm not really sure because I need to go in and look, but I could maybe say like SEO audits, web copy, case study copy, client interviews, things like that. Like I could possibly go in and say those are different services. But then the tricky thing is, as a service provider, if I go and change my offerings, I would need to remember that and go in and change them. So maybe don't necessarily do that unless you for real know what you're going to do. What's your thought?
Nothing. No, I think you're absolutely right. Okay. So I was thinking, I was like, I think we're probably going to have to do a part 2 because we haven't even really gotten into the article yet.
Oh yeah. But we can finish this up.
Okay. Because there was one thing I wanted to make sure I said before we ended because I had written it down earlier.
Okay. We have tag and then whatever you're going to wrap up with.
Okay. So a tag, where is the tag at?
I have no idea.
It's a feature that designates the type of business, which is like Italian or men's clothing store.
Italian meaning food, not just like you're an Italian person. Like Italian food, I'm imagining. I know that when I was creating, right, when I was creating my listing, now that I don't remember it, but I know when I did my dad's, the closest I could get to like window replacement was like window installation or something like that. But they do offer that. So I believe that's what I selected for like the type of business.
So the tag is essentially a category.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So if you want to, for my brain, if you want to compare this to like what you're doing on Instagram, then I think I have myself as just like copywriter. You could have business owner, entrepreneur, singer, whatever.
Okay. The last thing I want to just say about the business profile itself that's not on this other list is the place where you can add updates. So, every once in a while, I would get an email from the old Google My Business and it would say, hey, share what's going on at your store or whatever. And so if you click add update, you can basically add like a little post or you can add photos. And so I like to add photos of products there. If I had a brick and mortar, that's where you can add photos of your office, like your storefront. Because I remember when I was getting my hair done a few weeks ago, it was a new lady and I didn't know, I knew the general area, but I didn't know what her storefront looked like. So that would have been a perfect time for me to be able to see, the storefront. So I know what I was looking for, and then it also gives people a chance to kind of look around. So if you, take pictures of the entryway and like where they'll be getting their service done and all that type of stuff, it just creates that familiarity so that they know they're in the right place when they get there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a few things are coming to mind. I am that person that checks the parking situation because I am so terrible at parallel parking. I'm not terrible. I just
Mhm.
don't love it. So I'm like, is there a parking lot? And I actually, when I was in Florida recently, found a coffee shop that I wanted to go to, and I had done research before I even left. And I knew that I wanted to go to this place. And so I was like, what's the parking like? And they had a very detailed, I loved it, especially for a place that's downtown. They had a very detailed, like, you can come in this street, you can come in this street, you can go this way. And then they had a picture where they circled like their 10 parking spaces. So when I got there, I felt very comfortable knowing where to park and knowing that there was a parking lot and knowing that I didn't have to stress about like go park in a garage or get there early enough so that you can parallel park by just pulling into two spaces. So that's one thing. People like me, I feel like there are people like me that exist where we do check the parking before we get there. So that's helpful. Also, with what you were saying about showing the pictures with my massage practice, to me, that felt really important to show people like the door, the front, like the lobby, the front desk, the hallway, the bathroom, and then what the room looks like. So I just thought through, and if you're listening to this, maybe you can do the same thing. What is it that people need to see so they feel comfortable and they feel like they know where they're going and know what's up before they get there? Because again, just like reviews, that transparency also builds trust.
Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of people worry about reviews, since
Yeah.
you said that word again, I've also remembered something else I wanted to say about that. And when you get a bad review, I used to worry because, for the most part, I've gotten all 5-star reviews on Etsy. Most people aren't super ugly about it, right?
Yeah.
But when you get a review that's less than 5 stars, a lot of times what matters more than the review itself is the response that you give to it. And I
Yes.
know on Etsy and on Google, you can respond to the reviews. And so that is a chance for you also to kind of share your personality and what it's like to work with you. And again, help people kind of figure out, like, do I want to work with this person?
Yeah.
Like, do I trust them? Do I like them? All that type of stuff. So just
I'm glad you
remember,
said that because I saw
yeah,
that you had responded and I liked that and I wanted to mention that. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that back.
yeah. So I had that situation on Etsy a few months ago where this woman ordered giant numbers and stands to go with the stands, or to go with the numbers, make them freestanding. And I shipped them in 2 packages. And so from the UX perspective, what would have been better is if up front I had said, hey, by the way, you're going to get 2 packages. Or if I had written on the package 1 of 2, package 2 of 2, right? Well, what happened instead was she got the first packet, or the second package, which was the stands. She got those first because that was a smaller package, and I guess they got separated. And she emailed me and she said, I want my stuff, using different words. Okay. And I was like, whoa, hold on, wait a second. What are we talking about here? Because I was like, okay, is this Etsy? Is this my website? Because she sent me multiple messages through the chat on my website. And I'm trying to figure out like what she ordered. And it turned out she was over on Etsy. So by the time I checked Etsy, that's when I was like, oh, this is where she's coming from. And so, and she had already left a review, a 1-star review. It's still there. And it says, warning, this is a scam, da 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 da. And I had a choice to make, like it was busy season, right? It's always busy season for something. So I had a choice to make. I could either, go massage her shoulders or whatever, make her feel warm and fuzzy about the experience, or I could take care of my future clients. And I have no doubt I probably could have gotten her, to write a better review. But I mean, the lady was already cussing at me before I had a chance to explain, and it was like, I don't really feel like spending a lot of time with people like that. So, I did politely, explain to her the numbers were coming and all that type of stuff. But rather than, worry about the review, I just responded to it. And once you respond on Etsy, it cannot be changed. So I knew going in, I was like, this is going to make this a permanent thing. But rather than let it, just sit there and fester and have people wonder, like, what the heck is this? I just responded. I said, hey, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you it was coming in 2 packages. Your second package is on the way, and it's actually going to be earlier than it was supposed to be there, but I kept it light, kind of funny, and, kept it moving. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's just strange situations present strange opportunities, to show
They
a
do.
different side of you.
And I want to say, from a person that does look at reviews and who values them highly, especially if I see like a one-off situation, it's like I read that as the customer is a little bit off their rocker, not
Right.
you, the business owner. So if there's a string of them, then it's like, warning, don't go with that business. But if it's like a one-off, not a big deal. And like you said, seeing your response to that probably made people feel much more comfortable with working with you, and also still kind of reaffirmed that like red flag on their end, not on your end.
Right.
So yeah.
So, okay. So just before we close this out, this is the last thing that I wanted to add, because this kind of came more from the SEMrush article, but they had talked about searches for things like coffee near me. That's going to pull up the map pack, that type of stuff that's like near me. That's going to give you like those local results. But they said that the searches for where to buy and near me have increased over 200% in recent years. So, that's kind of a abstract statistic, but still it's like those searches have gone up. And these are called discovery searches. So when I heard that term discovery searches, it reminded me of the funnel, and of the top of the funnel, and the idea of awareness and also unawareness. Because again, if somebody's searching for something like coffee near me or coffee shop near me, they may not know the name of your coffee shop, or of the product that they're searching for. They may not know your brand name, but then you show up as a search result, which is great. So, I just wanted to, kind of point that out, because that kind of ties back into this whole idea of like the importance of SEO and getting found online.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if I may, just quickly, if you're in Orlando or going to Orlando, there's two really great coffee shops. One is called Cups and Pups. I took Jack in there. It was the first coffee shop he's ever been in, and they were so nice in there. And then the other one that I went to was called Craft and Common. And if you like chai lattes, you got to go there. They have like multiple chai latte options. And then the other thing was East End Market. They have some little shops in there. They have a coffee shop, and then they have food. Highly recommend. And I kind of wish those were near me.
That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, but I found them because of local SEO and Google Maps and Google My Business Profile and all of those words. Found them that way.
Yeah, awesome. I love how you put it together. Google My Business Profile. So instead of
hey, look at that. Yeah. I think that needs to go in the title of the podcast episode.
Yeah. So instead of Google Business Profile, it's Google My Business Profile. So
I'm just gonna P. Diddy, Sean Combs, like everything. It's just like all wrapped into one.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay. So this will definitely be a part one. We'll come back with part two at some point, discussing more about local SEO. And there's just so much more. So I'm sure there's going to be part 3, 4, 5, and 6 as well. But
just like buckle up and stay tuned.
Yeah. Hopefully this gives you a nice overview of that Google Business Profile, and definitely leave us any thoughts or questions.
I was going to say, actually, maybe what I would personally love to encourage people to do, since we talked about reviews, maybe if you like listening to the show, you could find us, especially on Apple, and maybe rate and review the show. Crystal, did we ever give away the planner? Or is that still going?
That's still going. Going. So tag us over on Instagram or send us a message. We are at Simple and Smart SEO on Instagram. So if you leave a review, screenshot it, and then share it with us, and you'll be entered into the planner giveaway.
Ooh. And with that, thanks for tuning in, and keep your eyes peeled for part 2.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today.
If you like this info, subscribe before you go, so you never miss out on something related to SEO.
See you next time. Hey guys, this is Crystal, one of your co-hosts from the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. If you're looking for a unique, handcrafted way to spruce up your home or office, then collagenwood.com is the perfect place for you. We are a small, woman-owned business that offers a range of beautiful wooden signs for your home or office. Our talented team of artists will work with you to create a sign that perfectly suits your needs. So why wait? Use promo code SIMPLE10 to save 10%. Visit collagenwood.com today. Save 10% with promo code SIMPLE10. That's collagenwood.com.